life is a series of crossroads. We're at everything financially, in your relationships, in your professional career. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? In 2023, we could see the writing on the wall that ScaleUp Sales was not going to be our forever business. ScaleUp Sales is still around, by the way. We actually manage clients. Like we still do it. It's just not, it's more like a very boutique agency. We have a handful of clients. We're not interested in working with clients we don't think we can succeed with. We're not proactively marketing, and we get business through word of mouth. In 2023, like around the middle of 2023, we just knew that something needed to change. And so that was when we started to cut down on costs. And a lot of what we were trying to do, in addition to like managing the business, was explore other business ideas. Because at the end of the day, look, you got to do what you got to do. All right, maybe you shut it down, go get a job. You go work for a few years and then be an entrepreneur again, whatever. There's no shame in anything. I'll never shame anybody for what they do. You can be a janitor. You can I've done everything. I've done tons of manual labor jobs, which is great. A lot of times the guys doing manual labor are really making way more money than us like computer guys. But I would say my experience with ScaleUp Sales actually set up TalentSam, because with ScaleUp Sales, as I was building this team, I was building my remote workforce, I encountered all of the different challenges involved in hiring and building remote teams. We had a lot of challenges in terms of sourcing great candidates. We worked with a lot of different platforms. We had a lot of different types of problems in terms of transferring money, paying salary, doing payroll, lots of different types of negotiations, dealing with lots of different types of cultural challenges. When people, you say one thing, they understood something different, how they communicate challenges back to you. And we really we ended up working across the board with some people in the US, Israel, Philippines, India, Bangladesh, UK, Macedonia, South Africa, Kenya, Mexico, El Salvador. And the reality was that we found for ourselves that the whole process of building a remote offshore team was incredibly resource draining. Okay? Sourcing candidates, hiring them, getting to stick around. Yeah, you might find someone great, but then they're just like freelancers, right? We weren't employing people fully. So there are a lot of challenges in terms of longevity and sourcing and quality control, and how do you manage them? How do you know that they're actually doing things, and dealing with time tracking? And some people are great that you could trust with your life, and other people are just scamming you. It was a really big problem because they're not sitting next to you. You can't really look them in the eye and know what they had. You can't smell their breath and know what they had for breakfast. And that was a big challenge, not like an insurmountable challenge, but we basically knew there's no way there aren't tons of companies who are just looking at what we're doing at ScaleUp Sales and saying, screw that. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go find, I'm going to go big. I'm going to go to West Virginia and find a guy like Jake. That's risky as I'm going to go. But a couple of funny things ended up happening. First thing was that kind of organically, we ended up replacing our entire team at ScaleUp Sales with people in South Africa. My colleague Dan left the day-to-day operations of ScaleUp Sales for about 1.5 years to go work in-house because we were experiencing financial issues as a business. And he ended up hiring a competitor agency for his role when he was VP of sales at that company. And that company was basically employing lots of South African contractors. And he developed a very close working relationship with his account manager there. And we were definitely dealing with some very consistent cultural challenges, you could say, in terms of how work is meant to be done and communication and things like that. And Dan was just absolutely blown away. I'd been to South Africa once as for a business trip, but I didn't have so much overwhelming experience. And Dan set up some calls with this woman named Jillian. She's still with us. She's actually our lead recruiter today. And at a certain point, we actually just ended up making a switch and basically terminating everyone on the team who wasn't South African, replacing them overnight with people from South Africa. And the truth was the operation worked 10 times better. And that was a first tell, because what we found with South Africa was that this was a place where you could get the same cost savings that you do with other offshore companies while preserving the same level of quality of employee that we would want if we were going to hire locally, whether locally means Israel or the US or UK or Australia. Okay, I want a tier 1 kind of person for a tier 2 or tier 3 cost. Because the reality is this: you're an entrepreneur, you're putting all your money into this and your time and all these different things. It's hard. I'm sorry. I can't afford to pay an SDR $10,000 a month in New York City. I just can't do it. And that's basically the model of how businesses have gotten, how salaries have gotten. And I'm not saying people shouldn't make good money or anything like that. Everyone needs to look out for themselves. And what's good for one person might be different. Your cost of living in West Virginia might be very different from someone's cost of living in Los Angeles, California. And the point was, I was like, me as an entrepreneur, if I can get the same quality and give someone a great life in their country and stuff, and I can have more for my family because I've got to provide for my family too. I'm going to do it. And so we had the experience, first of all, working in South Africa. And then as we were looking for new business, we're talking about different things, whatever. And it was actually our employees who told us, like, why don't you just